Today I'll be exploring UV, a Python project and package manager written in Rust with the claim of being 10 to 100 times faster than pip. It manages Python versions, projects, scripts, tools, and bundles all of that into one really useful tool. So looking forward to seeing how it performs. Before we jump into installing UV, I wanted to take a look at the history of the project just to give you an idea of how quickly and how popular it's become. So it was created in February of last year, and here we are in April. It's got nearly 50,000 stars. So in a very short period of time, if you come over here and we add pip, you can just see the astronomical rise of UV, and not a complete one-to-one comparison, obviously, but just shows an illustration of how quickly it's become kind of mainstream. So I will be looking at that and seeing if it holds up to all of the excitement. So here we are on the GitHub page for UV, and we'll kind of skip over the highlights, but like I said, a single tool to replace many of these tools and more. Very fast, comprehensive project management. You can run scripts, you can install versions, and a lot of other really good things. So I'm just going to dive right into the installation steps now. Come over to the terminal, and let's go ahead and just copy this portion. Installing. All right, let's see if we're good. Awesome. So it's already installed, and we'll see some of the major commands here. So we'll be able to add dependencies, remove dependencies. We can run commands or scripts. We can manage Python versions. We've got a pip interface as well for compatibility. We can manage virtual environments, build packages, publish packages, manage cache. So a lot of good things there. What we're going to do is just go ahead and head to the docs. I'm going to hit the getting started page. We've already installed it, so we'll go to first steps. We've already kind of seen some of the usage, so we'll dive into the overview. So first thing, I'm just going to kind of follow through these features. So what I'll do is I'd like to see what the install experience is like. So first I'll actually view a list of these. All right, so we've got Python 3.13, 3.12, 3.11, 3.10. Let's go ahead and try installing Python 3.13. Done. 1.89 seconds. Nice. All right, so let's say UV Python. What can we see the ones that we have installed? So we've got the available installed. Let's try deer. So if we, there's probably a better way to see which versions you have installed, but that's one way. So back to the getting started. That was very nice, quick installation. I believe it's quick because it comes from a pre-install or a pre-compiled binary. So depending on your system, it's going to install that version that's already been built. So that's probably why it's so fast, in addition to it being Rust, but primarily because it's pre-built. So we'll skip ahead to scripts. executing standalone Python scripts, example.py. So we can run a script, add a script, remove a script, or remove dependencies rather. So let's just try to, we'll make an example.py. We will open that file up, and then let's say print hello Python. UV run example.py. There we go. Okay, so not very impressive, but still a nice, it ran my script great. Let's try adding a import requests. Let's let Copilot help us out here. What do you want to do? Great. It's going to give us a weather data script. Hopefully it'll work. Let's try UV run example. Okay, so no module name requests. So this is where we can hopefully just go UV add script requests. And then example.py. We should do the script name first, I believe. Okay, now let's try UV run example.py. Let's say San Francisco. Not found or failed. So the interesting part that we care about, I don't really care about getting the city data right now, but it added my dependency here, and it added my Python version here, a Python requirement for 3.13, and it ran my script with requests. Nice. So if we do UV remove, it's updated my script and that's gone. So that's really nice. I could see that becoming very useful, especially in a CI/CD or a GitHub Actions, where you can have standalone scripts that specify their dependencies right within the script. I'm definitely going to try that out in the future. So the other thing I wanted to try was projects, which is more of the PyProject style of specifying dependencies. So we've got these commands for working with projects: UV init, UV add, UV remove, sync, lock, run, tree, build, and publish. So we will go ahead and do UV init first. So I'm going to make a new project. First, I'll make a directory, my project, and I will do UV init, name my project. So now let's see what we've got in here. So it already made a Git repository. It made a Git ignore. It's going to ignore virtual environments and a few other types of Python files, which is great. It's got a README, empty. It's got a main, hello from my project, and we've got the TOML. So project name, my project version, description, README, and what we saw before with the script, it's got the requires Python and dependencies. So I'm just going to do a simple thing like we did before. import requests. I'm just trying to have Copilot help me out here. Okay, so we've got a script. If I do uv run main, I'm expecting it to fail. No module named requests. So I'll do uv add requests. Okay, good. So then if I look at my project toml, we've got requests and we see a new file, uv.lock. So all of this is very familiar from other package managers. And so this is all looking good. I also like that it has a Python version file, which is very familiar to me. Very familiar with a Ruby version file, which is basically exactly the same as this. So this is all really familiar and looks good. So let's try my hack together script, see if it works. There we go. So we've got the Astral GitHub, Astral SHUV GitHub data. So I really like this so far. I am used to a very poor experience with pip, and I'll show you what I'm saying, what I mean by that. Anytime I've ever had to make a script with pip, I go something like this. I create a file, and then I'll do, say, like Python 3 main, or I'll do, I've got the script now. I'm trying to install something. So I'll say pip install requests. And this is the thing that I absolutely hate every single time I ever try to start a project with pip. You get this message about a virtual machine. So now you've got to come up here, and not to mention the fact that it's way up here. You have to scroll up just to get these commands. They're not very intuitive, in my opinion. And you have to do this manual dance of making yourself an environment, a venv. And it's just so bad. Whereas we've got my project, and I just did uv init, uv add, uv run, easy. So all of that so far to me is why I'll probably never use pip again if I can avoid it. uv has some pip commands that are helping you transition over to uv if there's a project that doesn't have the ability to use uv. I'm not sure why that would be, but there are some pip commands. I'll leave that to you. If you know why that exists, put it in the comments, but let me know what you think about uv so far. So right now I'm going to move to tools really quickly. These are tools that are published as packages. So you've got, for example, rough and black. Rough, I think, is a static analysis tool, and I'm not sure what black is, but let's try. You've got UVX is a shorthand for UV tool run. Runs a tool in a temporary environment. Install a tool user-wide. Uninstall list and update. So let's try using tools. Let's try this one. Hello from UV. So we can see it installed the package automatically and ran it. So from UV, hello from UV, PyCalSay was installed and ran with that with that argument. Got an invalid syntax warning, which is interesting. Let's see. UVX. So you can do specific versions of a package. So it installed rough 0.3.0 and ran rough check. I want to go back because the pip interface docs are here. So I'm going to read a little bit of this. Why would it maybe be required? Manually managing environments and packages intended to be used in legacy workflows or cases where the high-level commands do not provide enough control. Okay, so maybe there is a Python library or tool out there that you do need some of these direct control. And then they've got utility methods like cache, cleanup, and prune. But yeah, that's really great. So far, I'm really enjoying UV. They've got a bunch of integration guides. So using it with Docker, Jupyter, GitHub Actions, a lot of really good examples here. One thing that I thought of and found in their docs, which I think is great, is because it's so easy to manage versions in UV, you can also do a matrix job on GitHub Actions really easily, where you specify the versions of Python you want your job to be run in, and then with the UV setup workflow here or step, you can just specify Python version matrix. So it's going to run each of these with that Python version. So you can imagine having a Python package that you need to ensure support for different versions of Python. And now you can very easily set up maybe a test job to test your package with a bunch of different versions. So yeah, that's all for now. I'm going to leave a link in the description to this. Try it out. Let me know what you think. If you made it this far, thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.